Josh Hunter here with Transworld Business. I'm sitting here with Roy Turner, who is the busiest man in the building right now at Surf Expo. He's the show director, and we were just talking a little bit. The show is back at the West Hall of the Orange County Convention Center, and it's sort of got like a retro vibe. People that have been coming to the show for years and years seem to like it.
Yeah, this is kind of where our roots are. When we first moved from our small roots out on the coast of Florida 25 years ago, this was our home for years, so it's kind of nice to come back. Show's a little smaller, kind of compressed by the economy, and what a better place to do it. You bring people back, they're already comfortable. Space is really easy. It's got a really nice vibe to it. Easy to move in and out, so the logistics are good, and just seemed like the perfect time to kind of do a little bit of a change up and a shift.
And another thing that's a notable sort of difference here at the show is a lot of the brands seems like they've opted to do sort of like prefab booths, or they print up their next year's marketing campaign and they put it on a prefabricated booth rather than ship their big booth. But the brands are still here, and what's sort of how do you guys work around that?
Yeah, it's all logistics, but everybody, they invest so much money in their brand that they want to separate themselves. And just like everything else, printing technology, graphics, everything's really changed. But at the end of the day, trade show costs, probably 70% of it comes in some type of logistics. The freight, the weight, the labor. And if we can reduce any of those costs, you still get the vibe. Business is still being done behind walls. You just make it a little bit easier and accessible, and it just works out really good for everybody. It's really cost saving. Seems to be kind of the trend in the way trade shows are working. But what I still like about the new prefab booths is you can still brand it, so you don't walk into this place where everything's the same and it kind of looks like suburbia, because we live and die by our images, and that's what this sport's all about.
So it seems like we did an interview with Dukas yesterday, and he came to Surf Expo from the West Coast, and as we've been sort of going through some of the booths, we've seen some of the sort of the big wigs from the industry, the CEOs and guys talking with their big East Coast accounts, and from a trade show perspective, what do you guys do to sort of ensure that all the right retailers are here?
Yeah, well, we always have some type of incentive program, because at the end of the day, it's about attracting business, and it's no different than advertising. The whole main goal in advertising is you put your product out there, or a product out there, with the idea that if your advertising is really good, the end user actually buys in. Well, what a better way to do it than we go straight to them and put our show right in the hands of the buyers, the key buyers, and make sure that those guys are all here. Whether it's a startup company that maybe is a new buzz brand, or one of the older veterans, East, West Coast, Caribbean, or Canada, we just put a lot of effort. We actually have a full-time team that works with retailers to get them to our show.
And it's right in the thick of August. It's a really busy month, maybe the second busiest month of the year for a lot of retailers. On the East Coast with a lot of tourism and everything. How do you, is it a challenge to get those retailers here during August, and how are the new dates? How'd they come about, and how are they working out?
Yeah, well, a lot of rumors out there, but we're always willing to change things up, experiment, kind of like what we're doing by bringing an indoor wakeboard pool, 35,000 gallons on the show floor. Hope it doesn't leak. You bring the top pros in to kind of change up the old ramp thing that we would normally do. But the trade show dates really started with the Jewish holiday, which the Jewish holiday runs in September. It's based on a lunar cycle, and just the way it fell this year, it was going to push our show almost into October, which is pretty much irrelevant, at least from a business standpoint, not a contact standpoint, but from doing business. Order deadlines, everything would have been passed. So we roll the dice, we move it in August. If it works, great. We'll have to wait and see what the numbers are. If it doesn't work, obviously, we have two sets of customers, kind of like the magazine industry does. So we have a consumer, we have our buyers, the stores, and then we have our manufacturers, and trying to keep everybody happy, that's our end goal. So the only way if it's going to work is you do an experiment. We'll reevaluate. We'll let you guys know in a couple of weeks how it's going. But, the whole holiday thing was the catalyst for moving it. So you've got to respect all religions and all religious holidays. If it had been Christmas or Easter, we'd had to respect it the same way. So that's just what we're trying to do to keep everybody happy.
Absolutely. I know you guys do a ton. When you come into the show, you get scanned in, and you guys really use a lot of those numbers to make all your decisions. Is the initial sort of registration numbers and everything looking pretty good?
Yeah, it's really surprising. Our registration numbers are about in line with last year. Which in this economy we can help. But at the end of the day, we're a reflection of business. So if the stores are down 10, 20, 30%, and the manufacturers are down 10, 20, 30%. Honest, we're a reflection. I expect we would be down 10, 20, or 30%. By the same token, when business is good, in business is up 10, 20, 30%, we're a reflection of that too. And I think everybody's cost cutting. Maybe in the end, a store would bring 3 to 4 people to the show, or a manufacturer would bring 18 or 20. Maybe those guys are looking at dollars right now. I mean, we all are. And so they make it more affordable, just like the new booth pricing. What they do is they only bring 10. The store only brings 3. So we're watching those numbers, and that's what we're finding, that maybe the total store count is still the same, but the amount of people that are coming with the stores have dropped off a little bit.